Welcome back to season 5 of Time to Change. I'm Chaser Forehand.
And I'm Dom Jones. We have some amazing conversations lined up from people doing the work. I'm excited for those and the change that it'll hopefully spark.
I can't wait to jump in. So let's get started. Great to see you, Dom. And we are here today with Victoria Walling in the house. Give it up, people. Shining a light on Victoria Walling and her storytelling magic with the narrative kitchen. Look out, baby. If you don't know this lady, you gotta, as my buddy Lindsay Dowd says, you need to fix that shit right now. Right now. So, Victoria, you know what? Tell us about you and tell us about how you started the narrative kitchen.
Sure. So hi, I'm Victoria Walling. I am a storyteller. My background for the past 14 years is really more on PR communications and on storytelling. So my story really started with 11 years thriving in the corporate world. So I was really doing PR and comms. And then back in 2021, I wanted a change. So I built this branding firm with my friend and ran it for 3 years until I had that pull of, you know what, I want to do something more because I am not able to help like nonprofit organizations or solopreneurs when you're in a business. And that just gave me that push to embark in a solo adventure, which I call the Narrative Kitchen. And the way that I built my brand is asking myself the first question, okay, what are the two things that I really love? It's food and it's, storytelling and communications. And I said, okay, those are kind of unrelated, topics. So how can I marry them? So I was trying to think like of ways, pushing my creativity. I came up with the Narrative Kitchen, and in all of my writing, even on LinkedIn, everything is related to like recipes, cooking, baking, and how it affects, stories when it comes to brands, and even down to entrepreneurship. And right now, I've selected a few clients that I am helping. Hopefully, share their stories in a more meaningful way.
Wow.
And that resonates with me from my culinary background. So I love and appreciate all the help you've given HR for you. And I know that you've done some great work with Peter Schaller, our buddies over in Rayo de Sol. Big shout out, Peter. We love you, buddy. And so, yeah, thank you so much for all that you do and how you show up. It's fantastic.
Thank you for
Yeah.
for letting me and allowing me, to share what I really am very passionate about.
I have to say, I love how you marry the passions that you have together. And just reviewing your website, obviously, I walked away saying she really knows what she's talking about from a messaging and storytelling standpoint. But I walked away a little bit hungry too. And
I
it's
think that's the goal.
that's
That's the goal. Like even
I
with
see
all
what
of
you
my
did there.
clients, when I create their story, I always tell them our goal is to make sure that the audience and the readers come
Yeah.
back for seconds. So that's kind of like food, like when I cook for my family, I my aim is to make sure that they get second servings. So I'm like, is it good enough? Is it that's kind of what you want. You
Yes.
have that emotional connection with
Mm.
the way we share our stories.
Yeah, I love that. Well, mission accomplished, ma'am.
Hey.
Yeah, mission accomplished. I well, first, congratulations on just the success that you've had thus far, and how you're framing it to help. You mentioned that you left to start supporting nonprofits and solopreneurs and smaller businesses and things. I want to talk about not just in your work with them, but you talk a lot about the power of storytelling. For all of the business owners,
Yeah.
nonprofit leaders listening, talk talk to us a little bit about the power of storytelling and why that's so essential in everything that we do.
Sure. I think brand storytelling is such a powerful tool for us to connect with the audience on a much deeper level. So it's not just, promoting the products, the services, or the benefits of the products. It's really sharing your brand's vision, the mission, why you even established your business,
Mhm.
why you're trying to help people solve a certain problem, and we want to share that story in a more relatable and resonating way so that people remember us and remember how we made them feel because of the stories that we share. And you know how people are, they're emotional beings. So if sometimes, and I'm very guilty about this, sometimes I forget the brand names, but I never forget how the brand made me feel. Like, did it make me happy? Did it make me sad? And then, of course, I'll just search online and I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember the brand now. So that's kind of what you want, right?
Mhm.
And I think it's just very important because stories build that relationship, that connection, so that long term, if you want to thrive as a business, you'll have those loyal brand advocates who would technically do the marketing for you because they're going to share their personal experiences. You don't even
Mhm.
need to have a lot of marketing budget when that happens, right? So that's why I really push for storytelling more than the usual advertising and marketing. I'm not saying that they don't work, but if you think long term, storytelling and communications will always work.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. That's like a Maya Angelou quote. They will always remember how you
How you?
made them
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
and it is so true. Our That is one of the things that I love. Not only that we've had help from our branding, but you've stepped up, to give us some real perspective on what we can do with our website to take it up a notch, and how we can look at what we're doing and how it could be better to tell our story in an effective way. I'm always looking at that. It's like, how can we be different? How can we differentiate ourselves?
Mhm.
I don't look at the better game. I look at the
Mhm.
different game. How can we be different so that people go, oh,
Mhm.
wow. And I love the way you use that analogy with food, again, because I'm a foodie, culinary guy, chef. Like, that is my whole being, our whole deal with Transformation Kitchen.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
you bring it down in such a way that everybody can understand. Art, food, and music. Art, food, and music. Those
Mm.
are the three things that like transcend languages, barriers, stigmas, biases. I mean, and you communicate that in such a way that it allows people to understand exactly what you do, how you
Mhm.
do it, and why it's important. So this is a take my shoe off, take the pan off and throw it like yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
plus the fact that I would like almost all of those recipes that you create. Like, you should automatically just send them to me after
Just
you get
forward.
done with the just
Just auto
just
forward.
forward all of those
Yeah.
recipes to me.
I
Yeah,
think
I
I
love it.
should. I should put them into writing first. The thing with me is I get so creative that I rarely follow a recipe. So I make
Mm.
it my own. And then after I serve it to my husband, I always ask, do you like it or you don't like it? Because if he likes it, then I at least list down all the ingredients on my phone.
Mhm.
It's a mental note to say, you have to write the recipe one of these days.
Yeah.
My
So
wife tells me, my wife, sorry, Dom, my wife
no, go
tells
ahead.
me that when I do that I'm notorious for not writing that down exactly how I did it so that it's slightly different every time I make it. She's like, I like the way you did it last time.
Uh,
I understand completely. That's my husband every time.
mm.
When I ask him, like, what do you want to eat? What's your favorite? I don't really have a favorite because there's no two dishes that are the same that I make, apparently. So I'm like, at least you eat well. I don't hear any complaints there. So,
My job's done here. You're
Yeah.
full, aren't you? I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. So I've got a fun challenge. Victoria, you work with a lot of organizations and business leaders who are figuring out how to refine their messaging in a way where it resonates with their intended audience. You come into these business, diagnose where they are, and then give them a recipe for success. So I'm
mhm.
curious if you could list out a few of the main ingredients. See what I did there?
That
A
was
I
good.
love
few of the
it.
That
main
was good.
ingredients that that business owners need to be thinking about to refine their messaging. What would those ingredients be?
I think first off would be the brand values, like what you really stand for as
Okay.
a brand. Of course, the mission and the visions are very important, So at the end of the day, I mean, you are a business. So everything you do has to align with the end goal of eventually moving the needle for revenue and sales. So
Hmm.
values, the mission, the vision, and more importantly, your target audience. You have to know. I always tell my clients, you have to know who you're talking to, because if you don't know who they are, you won't be able to craft the message that would reach them in a way where they feel that you understand, their problems,
Hmm.
and the I guess what they really need,
Hmm.
that eventually your products or your services can answer. And I think last there would be creativity. I mean, you can't just stick to the traditional, oh, the protagonist, we're the brand and we're the ones who save you and, protect you from everything. That's not the way like life works right now. I mean,
Hmm.
there are so many consumers who are more discerning. They can find or they can notice like if you're being fake as a brand. So I always tell my clients, try to be as authentic as you can. If you make a mistake, that's fine. Admit it, own up to it, because on the audience right now, they would rather support a brand that admits when they're wrong, when they make a mistake, versus someone that's all knowing, or someone that feels that everything that they do is just right. So mostly those are the things that I feel a
Hmm.
brand needs.
Hmm.
As I said, if you don't have a target audience in mind, you won't be able to craft the story that will stick.
Yeah, that makes total sense. What I heard you say, brand values, mission and vision, knowing your target audience,
Yes.
and sprucing it with a little creativity.
Yep.
All right, sounds
That's
like a good
that's
recipe.
that salt that they add a
You
little.
go.
Yeah, yeah. You always see the little chip. You go like this. Yeah. There we go, Victoria. That was well done, Dom. I like
I
how. Oh
like it.
wow, that was well done.
Awesome.
That
Awesome.
was well
Awesome.
done.
Awesome.
Part of what we want to do with Time to Change is talk about people first initiatives. And one of the things that I love about you is that you not only are you part of a group that we are both in called the Outliers Projects, but you stand in the gap with us as a leader partner in HR for You Incorporated. So, what does putting people first mean to you?
Mm.
It's forgetting that you're a business. It's humanizing the brand. It's thinking about what's best for people without thinking about money, earning revenues. That's why, as you know, Jason, I love helping people, but I try to balance it out because at the end of the day, we need to earn
Sure.
money. But for me, it's first and foremost, what always comes to my mind is, can I help this person, whether or not I get paid? And if I won't
Mm.
get paid, I try to, just find a schedule where I'll be able to help, because at the end of the day, when you pass away, I've always believed if you go to hell or heaven, what gets counted is not the money that you have in your bank, but how much good you put out into the world. Plus, once you,
Mhm.
put other people first before any other agenda, it makes you feel so much better, so much lighter, and you feel that you have a purpose and you're creating an impact in the world. And
Mm.
that just gives you more meaning, in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That was really profound. I needed to
It
pause
was
for. I
Think
was
fantastic.
about it,
pause.
right? I mean,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
we
that's
all try to look
exactly.
for meaning.
Yeah.
And for me, it's really just helping others. And I have so many friends who sometimes even tell me, like, hey, maybe you want to just, put it on a pause first, because you kind of have to help yourself also. But I feel like I got that from my dad because he was big on helping nonprofits as well. But just a different, I guess, side, because he does, I think, raising funds when we were younger. That's
Mhm.
what I would remember. But for me, it's really more on how do I help them tell their story so that they can do their jobs and, the purpose that they're set to do in a much better way. So
Mm.
Wow, and
Yeah.
this is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
If I may just unpack a thought that I had as you were explaining how important storytelling and messaging and all of that is. Initially, I was thinking about it from the lens of the market that you're serving and customers and all of that. But I'm also thinking about how important that is internally. Like to your question, chasing around putting people first, like that same intentionality and authenticity not only serves organizations with their customers, but the employees and team members feel that as well. Can you speak a little bit to your thoughts on how that carries over into the inside of an organization? Victoria, did I lose you?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Or
there you
chasing,
go.
actually.
Jason
Or
first.
chasing.
Either
You
way,
probably have some thoughts. Victoria's like, oh, you rock, paper,
we
scissors,
both
shoot.
have thoughts. We both.
I was just waiting
Don't
to
worry.
see this. Like, is Jason
Don't
gonna
worry.
answer?
I can always cut this part where we just lost it.
That was funny. I
That
thought y'all were
you can
about to
see on
rock,
her
paper,
face.
scissors.
She's just waiting for me to say something, and I'm like,
Is it
"No,
Jason?
you're the guest. They hear me talk all the time.
Sorry,
You're
Tom,
the guest."
can you repeat the question so I can crack the answer in my head? Because I thought you were asking Jason for real, for real. Okay.
Chase
Yeah.
it.
That's awesome. Yeah, he
you're
was
gonna have
asking
to edit.
about the. Yeah.
I'm sorry for the double job.
No, we do this all the time. You should, it's trust me. That's the beautiful thing about editing. You can cut out all this. A lot of times I just cut out me talking because that's usually like I'm too long-winded. But what he asked was, how would you relate that same people first philosophy? How would you relate that into a business setting? Maybe even like on a corporate level. Am I understanding right? Again,
Yeah.
so on a corporate level, how would you relate that same type of philosophy that you described, people first, in
Yeah. Within an organization.
Okay. That's a great question, Dom. When I was back in the corporate world, I handled several teams. And our mantra before in my multinational agency where I was working was that it's a people first company. So even if we had revenue targets to meet, scope of works that we needed to do for our clients, I was always there for the team. So on top of all of my responsibilities as the team lead, I had to make sure that okay, the mental health of my people, are they okay? Are they getting the rest? Are they getting the support that that they need from me? Because I am not just measured by the numbers, but by how good a leader I am. And in my head, it's always if my team does something well, I always give the credit to them. It's never me, it's always we. And I always tell them that. And I hopefully train them really well. So moving forward, even if I'm not there, and when they become leaders, it's that mentality. Always put the team first, put others first before your personal agenda. Because that's how we should be as people. And hopefully we thrive together and just be happy doing the work that we all love doing.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
We have been talking about people first initiatives with the amazing Victoria Walling. I am Chasen Forehand,
And I am Dom Jones.
and we'll catch you next time on Time to Change.